Cowardly, Konstantin.
It's nothing to do with cowardice.
It's a little bit cowardly.
It's nothing to do with cowardice.
A little bit.
What is a grifter? When have we said it's because of feminism?
I've no idea.
But you just said that.
Have you ever done that?
No.
Ah, you're good at this.
How much are we going to get back?
That's a very good question. Probably you could find the answer to that.
Wait, oh, so you don't know?
No, I definitely don't know.
Well, that's fascinating. You just said it's going to make us money. You don't know how much? Okay, cool. We'll leave it there. Jimmy, do you think this is going well for you?
Terribly.
I really think you are really embarrassing yourself. Well, you're going to keep lies up there about other people that you know are lies.
Oh, big time.
By your definition, are you a grifter?
Welcome back to Rattlesnake TV, guys. In this video, we are going to be watching a left-wing YouTuber named Jimmy the Giant get his cheeks absolutely clapped by Konstantin Kisin in a debate. This might be one of the worst live performances I have ever seen in my life. And what makes it better is that it was completely deserved. So we're going to go through some of the key moments and we're going to be showing exactly how Konstantin Kisin broke this man down. So with that, let's get into the first clip, which is very relevant, where he talks about his journey to becoming a political commentator.
Originally, I made parkour videos.
And so parkour is like jumping from building to building.
I did it for a long period of time. Tried to make like a clothing brand, because back then, the only way of making money in parkour was either being good at it, which I wasn't, or selling clothes. I eventually, I had this brand and I was trying to do this is where I was kind of right-wing and out. Not to say that setting up a business is right wing, but I was definitely consuming lots of go out, make the business, do the hustle bro shit. And I was really determined to make some money out of it. And eventually it kind of fell apart. Me and my friends kind of fell apart. Eventually that stopped and then I moved into YouTube.
Okay, so you can see that he's been around the block. He's done a bit of parkour. He was right-wing for a little while. He's done a few different things and it didn't really work out for him financially. Fair enough. We all fall down sometimes and we've got to find a way to get back up. And sometimes it takes a little bit longer for some to realize where our lane is than others. But I'm just not sure that he realizes here that this kind of flip-flopping for attention online doesn't really reflect so well when he's calling other people grifters. A commenter rightly pointed out on the video, a guy that has gone from parkour to skateboarding to extreme right to extreme left, now social commentary, desperately trying to find an audience, is calling you a grifter. So before we get onto the meat and potatoes of the argument, we need to have a look at this quick exchange that really sets the tone for the rest of the debate.
That we're paying more than anyone else, our energy bills, and we're trying to find answers to that. You cannot answer that without looking at the fact that we've privatized all of these things and they've all got worse and worse.
I mean, our energy bills are high because of the net zero policies the government.
Do you okay? All right. So this is get the book out.
Okay.
So what sort of research have you actually done into renewables specifically?
I've done quite a lot of research and we've had a number of people on the show, most recently Matt Ridley, who we talked to about net zero. I don't know if you caught that episode. I don't want to get into this part of it right now. It's just I'm just throwing that out.
But you can't throw it and run it. You start throwing a grade and run away. Because that's a big point. That's no problem. I'll take it back and let's just pretend I never said anything. So, no, you can't do that.
Yeah, you can. Because I don't want to go down this rabbit hole because it's going to waste a lot of time.
It's very important, and that feels like a bit of a. You've said something your audience will now take as fact.
We'll cut it out.
That's ridiculous.
The reason I'm saying this, I don't want to get bogged down in this particular conversation about energy prices. It's not really relevant.
It is very relevant. If you want to answer, if I'm trying to make my case that privatization has caused our cost of living to be higher than everyone else.
Fine,
and then
granted.
Okay, well, let me continue.
No, let's not continue because I don't want to get bogged down in this part of the conversation.
It's cowardly, Konstantin.
It's nothing to do with cowardice.
It's a little bit cowardly.
It's nothing to do with cowardice.
A little bit. If you can't engage on that topic.
You've got to let me finish the point I'm making before you call it cowardly.
But it is a little bit. A little bit. Tiny bit. It's a little bit.
You've got to let me finish what I'm saying before you call it cowardly. So it's not that I don't want to have this discussion. It's that this discussion is not the reason I brought you on the channel, right? I brought you on to talk about the video you made in which you called me and a bunch of other people middle-class grifters, right? And I'm just exploring your perspective before we get into that. Now, I agree with you. I shouldn't have jumped in with my opinion.
Okay, so to be fair here, Konstantin was correct to apologize for inserting his opinion and then not wanting to back it up with the debate straight away. However, it is his show and you can understand why he doesn't want to get bogged down in a 20-minute meta conversation about net zero. They have limited time and Konstantin wants to talk to him about the points that he made in his video. And as we've just seen, Jimmy has made a critical mistake. He's trying to come in there as this reasonable leftist. Just want to talk about the ideas, just want to talk about housing. But so far, he's called him a grifter and now a coward. And I watched the video he made and he also called him a failed entertainer, which is another lie because Konstantin's a YouTuber. YouTube is entertainment. He's a very successful YouTuber, so he's a very successful entertainer. So Jimmy has already taken the gloves off and thrown them in the bin. And despite all this, Konstantin still gave him the chance to ingratiate himself to the audience, introduce himself a little bit, and yet Jimmy still wants to treat Konstantin with disrespect like that.
Cowardice.
A little bit cowardly.
Well, it's not going to go well for him. And I mean, if you want far-right grifter, Konstantin is not the guy you're looking for. He's a center-left guy, tries to resonate with both sides. If you want a right-wing grifter who hates feminism as they're about to bring up very soon, then I am your guy. So Jimmy, if you watch this, reach out and we'll get a debate lined up on these topics on a neutral platform. Anyway, speaking of the grift, I need to introduce you guys to the sponsor of today's video, Fume. Let's make one thing clear. This product is not a vape. No nicotine, no smoke, no vapor. It's called Fume, and it's built for people who want to replace the bad habit. Fume is a flavored air device. This means no electronics, no refills, no batteries, just a clean, natural experience that gives you something to reach for when you need it. All flavor, zero chemicals. It's weighted. It has a magnetic body that's actually made to fidget with. You can twist the airflow, snap the magnets. It's engineered to feel good in your hands. It's subtle, it's satisfying, and it's built like something you actually want to carry around. Not to mention, it's much more affordable than vapes. My picks, Spearmint Ice for a smooth kick, or black licorice if you want something bold. Not candy sweet, just clean and herbal like a good tea. Now, over 500,000 people are already using Fume to take control of their habits, and now's a good time to try it yourself. Use my code RattlesnakeTV when you order the journey pack from my links below, and you will get a free Fume topper to level up your kit. Solid upgrade, zero cost. Just go to tryfume.com/rattlesnaketv or hit the QR code on the screen right here and get started today. All those links just below. So with that, let's get
So you made this video called The Rise of the Middle Class Grifter, in which you feature, I'm trying to think off the top of my head, Douglas Murray, Sir Neil Ferguson, me, some online creators like Carl Benjamin and Paul Joseph Watson.
Yeah.
So what is a grifter?
It's a good question. I think I realised that we will do this thing left and right, and I think we're all kind of playing into a dumb thing here. And I kind of realised one of the main critiques I had in that video was effectively play the idea, not the man, or something like that, or play the man, not the ball. What's the expression?
Play the ball, not the man.
Yeah. And so people were saying I was critiquing people as opposed to their ideas, which I think is a fair critique.
No, I've got no problem with that. People aren't.
Yeah.
If you are a public person, people will criticize. It's natural.
But I think, I think
I'm just asking what a grifter is.
Yeah, I think what they would get, what was
What's a grifter?
I think what I was doing was calling people grifters if I disagree with them, and you guys do the same, where you call us woke, indoctrinating libs. And I think it was playing in, to be honest, to a pretty reductive way of looking at politics. So instead of...
Are you taking it back? Is that what you're saying?
No, I think you're a grifter, but I don't think it's productive.
So what is a grifter?
It's someone who effectively sells bullshit like a snake oil salesman, who instead of genuinely engaging with topics, they see that outrage sells and reactionary content sells, and if I follow that, I'll make lots of money. Doesn't mean that they don't believe in these ideas. It doesn't mean that they don't think that. Really, some of the best grifters are true believers who really believe in their shit. I really think Russell Brand really believes everything he says.
That's one area we disagree on. But
you think Russell Brand is like lying? Like you think he doesn't?
I don't think he's a liar, but from having spoken to people who know, he is not remotely.
Do you think Alex Jones is a liar? No, do you think he really believes it?
I don't. But hold on a second.
Yeah.
If someone is just saying their opinion, that you don't agree with, that makes them a grifter?
I think if your job is, you're a political pundit, you're a political podcast, if your job is to follow politics, and like I went through your channel, like I was sort of analysing.
Can we just stick with the definition of grifter?
Yeah, someone who sells outrage, monetizes it.
Wait, what if someone just says their opinion about things that they are not happy with? Like, for example, if someone thinks that, I don't know, the rape of British girls by grooming gangs.
I wouldn't say a grifter.
Okay, so Konstantin doing exactly what he should be doing at the beginning of this debate, defining terms. He simply asks, what is a grifter? You know, the premise of the video that you made, the thing that you called me in front of hundreds of thousands of people, the reason why you're in studio right now. You would think of all the questions you would be unprepared for, this wouldn't feature. But no, he's unprepared and he gives a loose definition of a grifter being somebody who uses rage bait to spew bullshit and to peddle a narrative, I guess, and somebody who profits from it.
It's someone who effectively sells bullshit like a snake oil salesman, who instead of genuinely engaging with topics, they see that outrage sells and reactionary content sells, and if I follow that, I'll make lots of money.
He even says that they don't even have to be lying. They can believe everything that they say.
Really, some of the best grifters are true believers who really believe in their shit.
So by that definition, then literally everybody, including him, is a grifter, because this is the nature of talking about things to do with politics online. People are going to get outraged. Money is going to be made. Somebody out there is going to think you're a bullshitter. But more importantly, this is why semantics and definitions are so important in a debate, because you cannot let a guy like this try and weasel his way out of defining his terms. Otherwise, he will use a very common fallacy, which is known as the equivocation fallacy, which leftists use to no end. And the equivocation fallacy is when words or phrases are used with different meanings in the same argument. And he'll do this with Grifter if given the chance. 1 minute, it'll be about focusing on a certain topic, and then the next minute it's about money. The next minute it's about bullshit, but really what it means to him is actually just people I disagree with are grifters.
Calling people grifters if I disagree with them.
Anyways, let's continue to watch as this goes seriously downhill for Jimmy.
I would say, so if we look at your channel, I look through like about 222 videos, and I put them in two categories. So I put them as culture war topics and material topics. So a culture war topic would be topics like trans, woke, diversity, DI, the West, like, you know, the fall of the West, the left, vaccine,
that's a culture war topic.
Migrants. It depends how you frame it, for sure. If the fall of the West is because of feminists, for sure, that's a culture war topic.
When have we done a video that the fall
You
of
have
the West?
loads of videos called The West or something.
Hold on a second.
Okay. So let's remove...
Hold on a second.
Yeah.
When have we done a video saying that the fall of the West is because of feminism?
No, I don't know.
What do you mean?
These are sort of
you just said that. When have we done a video?
Are you trying to reject this concept here? What I'm looking for...
Jimmy, listen.
Remove the West.
This is going to work a lot better if you listen to what I'm saying and then respond to it. So you just said that we've done videos including about the West, which is a culture war topic. And I said, why is it a culture war topic? And you said, well, it is if you say it's because of feminism. When have we...
Typically,
when have we... Hold on, let me finish the question.
It'll be the fall of the West.
Jimmy, you got to listen to the question and then answer.
For sure.
So listen to the question and then answer it. When have I said that the fall of the West, or we've done a video to say that the fall of the West is because of feminism?
I have no idea.
Well, you just said that.
No. I said that you've done 22 videos that have the West as
you
the
said
title.
222, but we've never said it's because of feminism.
I didn't say you did 222 videos about the West.
When have we said it's because of feminism?
I have no idea.
But you just said that.
Have you ever done that?
No.
You're good at this.
I know I am.
You're very good at this. You don't engage with what we're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't have to be good at this to debunk what you're saying. All he has to do is listen to what Jimmy says, ask Jimmy what Jimmy means by the things that he says.
That's a culture war topic.
Or just listen to the accusations being lobbed and just say, when did I do that?
When have we done a video that the fall
You
of
have
the West...
loads of videos.
And then upon this first level of analysis, the first step of the Socratic method, Jimmy falls apart.
You're good at this.
I know I am.
You're very good at this. You don't engage with what we're talking about.
But anyways, I actually do think that the rise of feminism, amongst a host of other factors, has played a key role in the fall of the West, if you will. So would be happy to debate that as well. Like I said before, your beef is not with guys like Konstantin, it's with guys like me. But anyways, I digress. Let's carry on.
You're framing...
You just said that the West being in decline is a culture war topic. I asked you why. I don't consider that a culture war topic. That's a very real topic.
Okay, so I'll just concede it. You can have it.
Great.
Okay, so 22 videos on the West. 3 of them were neutral, so like not saying the decline, the fall.
Okay.
The left, 28. Vaccine, 7, all of which are skeptic. Migrants, 26, all of which are negative. And liberal. I'll give you migrants because migrants isn't a cultural topic, and we can talk about migrants more so. Liberal, 16, and there was a major pivot in 24, 25 where you started use liberals a lot. So that is 207 videos that I would conduct. I would deduct as being reactionary.
How many of them have you watched?
So, none of them.
Oh, you haven't watched any?
Okay, I've definitely watched some, but I haven't like watched all 220.
So you're
videos.
commenting on something you haven't watched?
So you remember when I said sells outrage to get views?
Right.
So what I've analysed by are words that are used in titles. So you've deducted that if I put the word trans 53 times, you'll get more clicks. Because we're YouTubers, we understand, you use words.
How do you know that that's what I can click?
You don't do clickbait, you don't play the algorithm?
Have you not noticed that we don't do clickbait?
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
We're all YouTubers.
Okay, so you're saying you do clickbait?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So why do you think I'm
when
like
I do the evil decline of the council estate, it's because I'm trying to get views. And I'm trying to get people to click on. Yeah.
Well,
so when you do the decline, okay, so let me finish the point. Material videos. So
No, let's not finish the point.
No, if you don't let me make my point, there's no point.
You did make your point.
No, I haven't. No, I haven't.
You have.
No, I haven't.
You said that we do clickbait. You said that we do clickbait.
You can't let people think you're not a grifter if you're not going to let someone finish the entire argument. You know what you're doing, and it's stupid, bro.
You
really
have as much time as you want.
Okay. So you won't let me finish my point because I was gaining a bit of steam there.
It's not because
material videos. You did 15 videos.
So what we are seeing here is a very interesting moment where our friend Jimmy tries to filibuster the debate. He tries to spurg out and speak over Konstantin.
So, material videos. You did 15 videos.
And he desperately tries to run away from the point because he realizes that the very thing that he accused Konstantin of, a grifter, according to his own logic and his own definition, he is that thing. He ticks all the boxes. And so he does the one thing that he can resort to throughout the entire debate, just over and over like a broken record. And that is saying, what about housing? But why aren't you talking about housing? You're talking about this trans issue so much. Why don't we talk about housing?
Housing.
Because apparently if you don't talk about housing 24/7, then you're a grifter or something. I mean, I agree that housing is a big issue. People should be able to afford a house. But it's also a big problem that increasingly large amounts of young people think that they're the opposite sex. That is also a problem, and different people with different varied interests are going to talk about different topics. And more on this very soon, but you can see that Jimmy is trying to flip this to what he perceives to be his home court. Net zero and housing, but it still blows up in his face. Check it out. Guys, just before we get into the rest of it, I wanted to send you a quick reminder to like the video, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And with that, let's get back into it.
The biggest topic you talk about is trans. Do you think that do you think that your audience thinks about trans that same amount?
When was the last video we did about trans?
I have no fucking clue. Probably, what is it, a year ago? When did you stop talking about it?
You tell me. You've done the research.
Well, it's your channel.
I know it's my channel.
Yeah, so when did
you've come here with a list of things that we've done. Yeah. When was the last video?
So you don't talk 53 videos about trans?
That's not what I said.
In a time of economic crisis where the billionaires are doubling their wealth, where people can't afford housing, you didn't make 53 videos about trans.
Jimmy, you don't seem to be answering the question.
So what's the question?
The question was, when was the last time we did a video about trans?
I have no idea.
Okay. Would you like to know why we haven't done a video about trans for a long time?
Didn't you do one? It was like, Lord had no scorn but a woman burned or something about J.K. Rowling? Wasn't that like...
Lord had no what?
What was the one about J.K. Rowling? It was something like, she's there smoking a big cigar. We won the trans debate. Wasn't that like, it was probably a couple months ago. When was it?
We won the trans... I've never done a video called We Won the Trans Debate.
You did a video on the change in criteria of what is a woman. That was like 3-4 months ago, right? You didn't make a video about the J.K. Rowling thing when the whole change of definition of...
I did an article.
Yeah.
So I did a monologue about that. So in terms
that's
of
like 3 months ago.
So I'm asking you,
3-4 months ago.
When was the last time we did an interview about the trans thing? It's a very long time ago. Would you like to know why?
Yeah, go on.
Would you like to know?
Yeah, for sure.
So Francis and I, when we came across this issue, we realized that what was happening in this area was really very disturbing. And we became very concerned about what was happening to children, what was happening to autistic children, what was happening to gay kids, etc. And we interviewed a lot of people to try and understand what was happening. That's why we delved into that issue quite a bit.
53 videos.
Right. And the reason we did that is we really are quite concerned about the fact that children are having their genitals removed.
53 videos.
Yeah, I think...
Economic collapse, 53 videos on
You know, I think children having their genitals surgically removed or being given puberty blockers that sterilize them for life.
What's the percentage that happens? Who is the percentage of trans people? How many people does this affect? Do you think it affects your 53, like just from a pure logical perspective, your audience probably doesn't deeply give a shit about that compared to housing, compared to cost of living.
We can talk about several things at once.
But you talk about 53 you've made. Your last videos that were on housing were 5 to 6 years ago. All of the videos that are actual about it is. Well, but in the title, sorry, you probably have
so you haven't watched any videos that we've done. What is the future of interest rates and the housing market in this country, in your opinion? The cost of housing is so high that
the homelessness has just gone through the roof.
the reason we have a housing crisis is the government cannot afford to let housing prices stop rising.
People can't see a way out of a rental situation where
The housing market is completely f***ed on purpose, and they refuse to fix it.
You know, many instances now of housing and
unless young people can get access to property and the housing ladder, they're going to reject democracy.
So we know in Britain, for example, housing's very expensive.
We've talked about before getting on the housing ladder, owning property.
We talked about the housing crisis, and we can talk more about that if you want. And I wonder if you think that the economic circumstances facing young people, the extraordinary price of housing, for example, the inability, therefore, to own property like me, right, have absolutely no personal short-term incentive to see that problem fixed.
And when you look at issues like housing,
You want to make it harder for them? You want to make it harder for them to get on the housing ladder? The situation with housing in this country, which for young people is absolutely atrocious.
But what about the housing crisis?
So this is just really awkward. But I mean, even if Konstantin never ever talked about housing, not even a whisper, this still would not be a valid criticism, because not everybody can cover every topic to the degree that everybody with the various different interests in said topic are satisfied with. And you see this fallacious criticism happening in all different kinds of debates. You talk about Gaza so much. Why don't you talk about Yemen more? You talk about Israel so much and their influence on the government of the United States. Why don't you talk more about Qatar? You talk about human rights. Why don't you talk about animal rights? Blah, blah, blah. It's kind of like the tu quoque que fallacy or a whataboutism. Konstantin makes a moral claim about the trans issue, and then instead of actually addressing the argument, or instead of actually addressing why it is or isn't important, you just say, well, you've made 53 videos about it. What about housing?
We really are quite concerned about the fact that children are having their genitals removed.
53 videos.
Yeah, we can talk about housing when we're talking about housing. But first of all, why don't you actually tell him what's wrong with covering this trans issue? Why don't you actually tell him what's wrong with covering this massive cultural phenomenon that has taken place over the past few decades, particularly over the past decade when they've been covering it. But on to the next part now, and just remember before, he called Konstantin a coward for not engaging with the renewable energy debate. You know what they say, guys? Be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it.
Be careful what you pray for, you just might get it.
If your opinion of net zero is that we can't switch to renewables because it's going to be too costly on individuals' lives, when you do know that that isn't true. You do know that renewables are cheaper, and the reason that we pay more for gas, the reason that we pay high energy bills is because of cost marginal pricing, and gas is very expensive, so it sets the price of the whole market. So renewables, it costs about £45 per megawatt hour, gets priced the same as gas that can, in a crisis, go up to £200. You know that. You know about marginal costing, don't you? Bruv, you know about marginal costing. When you tell people the reason we can't pursue renewables is because it's going to make...
I've never told people we can't.
You have said this exact phrase. You say, people will not accept a declining living standard, implying higher costs, in order to achieve net zero. Correct. That's a false dichotomy, because that isn't what it is.
Really?
You know that.
So how much is net zero going to cost?
What do you mean?
How much will net zero cost?
Well, it will save people money, save work,
Do you know that the estimate for net zero in Britain...
1.5 trillion?
Okay, that's quite a lot of money, Jimmy. So...
Do you understand how energy prices work?
No. Do you understand that you just yourself said it's going to save people money, and then you said it's going to cost 1.5 trillion?
Are you paying the... who's paying the 1.5?
We all are.
Through?
Taxation.
How do you get taxes?
By taking money from people.
Who pays the most taxes?
People.
And that tax gets used to do what? Create things that are in the public interest, that have paid dividends.
But you just said it's going to save money, and then you said it's going to cost 1.5 trillion.
Do things that create money at one point cost money? Did you set up this business with no capital investment at all?
Pretty much, actually, but yeah.
You've done no capital investment into this?
Pretty much.
Just labour hours?
Pretty much.
So labour hours is capital investment, because it's your time, which is money, right?
It's going to cost, net zero is estimated in different countries to cost different amounts, right? but in Britain, 1.5 trillion pounds is your figure. And then you're saying it's going to save money?
But you know it's going to save money.
No, I don't know it's going to save money.
You do know it's going to save money.
Okay, fine.
So if I build...
Fine, whatever. This is why I couldn't be asked for this conversation.
You understand that people take deficit to pay for things that they think will pay dividends and improve society.
Yeah, but that's not what,
so if we
take a deficit, the net zero is about.
Yes, it is.
No,
if we're borrowing money to build green technologies that makes our energy costs not tied to foreign billionaires and private equity firms that sell us energy at extorted rates that make our energy prices higher than anyone else.
So why is it going to cost 1.5 trillion then?
Because you have to take deficits in order to afford these infrastructure projects.
Oh, I see. So what's going to be the profit from net zero?
That your bills will be...
the number. It's going to cost 1.5 trillion, and what's going to be the return on that?
Low energy bills for individuals.
So how much is it going to profit us? We're going to spend 1.5 trillion, like you said, with the deficit, right? How much are we going to get back?
That's a very good question. Probably you could find the answer to that.
Wait, so you don't know?
No, I definitely don't know.
Well, that's fascinating. You just said it's going to make us money. You don't know how much? Okay, cool. We'll leave it there.
Do you understand?
No, we'll leave it there.
Any nation that is
come back
followed...
come back to the grifter. You're giving a good example of exactly what a grifter does. Someone who throws out claims they can't back up.
The nations that follow renewables have lower energy prices than us. You know that.
Fantastic.
You know Denmark. You know all these nations do that.
You done?
You know that.
Are you done?
You know that.
Are you done?
Are
you done?
Yeah.
You are. Cool. So a grifter is someone who pursues outrage. They might believe it, they might not, right?
Yeah.
But they say things that are factually incorrect.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's look at the
sort of like increasing renewables will make our lives more expensive.
Cool.
Oh, not good, boys. Not good at all. You want to call someone a grifter and a coward and a failed entertainer and be all cool guy, nonchalant, super smug leftist? If you want to do that, then you'd want to be able to answer some extremely simple questions about the core tenets of your worldview.
Are you done?
Are
you done?
Yeah.
You are. Cool.
And now in the bit that follows, he goes on to say that Konstantin Kisin was silent about J6, which he wasn't. That's not true. Konstantin has been highly critical of that whole entire situation, and you can go watch that for yourselves if you'd like with the original video linked down in the bio. But the bit that I found more interesting was the bit after, when he criticizes Konstantin, saying that it's a facade that Konstantin claims to criticize both sides, which is just a bizarre argument to make. And honestly, it's a mouth-watering slam dunk moment for Konstantin.
Coming back to this idea that you were talking, you had a picture of me and you were saying these people have the facade that they critique both sides, right? You think that's true about me? It's a facade?
Yeah.
Okay, so are you aware that among people in our space, I've been very, very critical of people on the right about their ridiculous position on
the woke
Ukraine.
right stuff. That's your best take.
No, hold on a second.
Sorry, Ukraine.
About Ukraine. Are you aware that we raised tens of thousands of pounds on Triggernometry for Ukraine? Are you aware that I've been fiercely critical of people like Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens?
Yeah, so, the woke right stuff, you're
and the woke right.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's a fair point.
Okay, and housing, speaking directly to conservatives and telling them this is an important issue.
You have never presented an actual solution to housing.
That's
you
not
have
true.
never presented it.
Really? You've seen all our videos.
What is your solution to housing?
Hold on a second.
What is your solution to housing? How are you going to make it so that your audience, the young people that watch this, are ever going to afford a house? How are you going to do that? How does Konstantin Kisin propose to do
First of all, it's Konstantin Kisin.
Kisin?
Yes.
Oh, I've been saying it wrong for literally years.
You have been.
So I have many criticisms of Konstantin Kisin. I mean, the woke right thing, the fact that he's an atheist, amongst other arguments as well. But this just goes to show that he is most definitely critical of both sides, and definitely draws the ire of individuals like myself with some of his takes. I mean, of all the criticisms that I have of Konstantin, pandering to one side is not one of them. He definitely stands 10 toes down on his centrism, and I may not agree with him, but I respect it. And for Jimmy to say that this is just a facade is such a dumb take. And it's why it was just so easily dismantled. And the reason why is because it's kind of what Konstantin specializes in. It's his brand, it's his image. He's able to speak to both sides of the aisle, and he's able to have these civilized conversations. It's what he actually does best. He's talked to people from all over the spectrum. So to say that to him is like saying to Gordon Ramsay, Gordon, you're not really a chef. That thing that you're world famous for, you're not really that. That's just a facade.
What are you? An idiot sandwich.
But anyways, because it was so easily dismantled, what does he do next? He pivots, he runs, he sidesteps. Back to my housing.
You yourself conceded a little while ago that I've talked about housing quite a bit.
No, you haven't. I didn't say quite a bit. You did one video 5 to 6 years. No, you did 3 videos 5 to 6 years ago, and then you mentioned it in the Zoran Mondoni one, and then in your thing at Oxford Union.
No,
over
not at Oxford Union.
222 videos.
Right. So I've talked about it quite a bit.
Quite a bit. What do you do? I would say trans. 53 videos on trans is quite a bit on trans.
It is.
I would say 5 to 6 videos. I would say 3 videos you did 5 to 6 years ago. I wouldn't call that quite a bit.
You're making the same arguments over and over. Have you noticed?
I would say at one point, 5 to 6 years ago, you used to have a genuine curiosity. I really do see that in those old videos. And there was some right-wing shit that I wouldn't agree with, but you did used to explore some ideas. I would say that was true.
Jimmy, do you think this is going well for you?
Terribly. But then you think about 2 to 3 years ago. 2 to 3 years ago. You flipped. You notice that? You saw the financial benefit to talk about trans.
You see, you're mind reading. You're making things up again about me that you don't know. Clear. Well, see, all of these things.
Give me your defense then. What happened to you, bruv? You used to talk about things, and then all of a sudden you realise if I make 53 videos on trans.
Jimmy, the first thing that anyone watching this will notice, right, is that you've made a video in which you made a bunch of false claims.
What were the false claims?
Would you like me to read them to you again?
Hold
on, no, be quiet now.
The two jokes are false claims, or are they jokes? Wait, and then what was the last one?
The Donald Trump me staying
so that one's incorrect.
That one's incorrect.
But the other two are jokes.
What about me using the hold on a second. Stop talking and listen to what I'm saying. What about the facade of me not critiquing the right, where I've critiqued the right over Ukraine, I've critiqued the woke right, as I call it, I've critiqued the right about their lack of understanding of the importance of inequality.
But do you see your purview here is cultural issues, right? Obviously, Jan 6, I'll give you that, it's a bit more than a cultural issue, but you perceive everything through culture. Have you ever talked about taxing rich people? Have you ever talked about the house crisis? You don't really talk about these things.
Yeah. So
and you don't critique.
Notice how the moment I make a good point, you just sidestep it.
You don't critique right-wing. You don't critique right-wing ideology. You might critique cultural topics. Fine, I'll give you that, maybe. But you don't critique right-wing ideology on the economy. You don't critique the idea that having a really big billionaire class might be negative for people. You don't talk about these things.
Did you read my book?
No. Do you talk about that in there?
Do you know that I have a whole chapter about the importance of addressing inequality in my book?
And how do you propose to do it?
It's all in there. You can read it.
I've got to read the book to get your opinion on how to deal with inequality.
Exactly.
You're not going to just tell me how to deal with inequality.
Talk about the spirit level and other things that left-wing economists all like. I'll give you a copy of the book.
Yeah, please. But why don't you talk about this stuff more? This really fucking matters to people.
I wrote a chapter in a book that
Why do you not talk about it on your YouTube channel, which is clearly your big...
Are you not hearing yourself? I wrote a book that's a Sunday Times bestseller in which one of the chapters addresses the issues that you're talking about. So when you say, why don't you talk about it? I talked about it in a book.
But not on your YouTube channel that you've made 222 videos on.
Not
about...
I really think you are really embarrassing yourself here.
Probably, man. But there will be a lot of people on my side.
You really are embarrassing yourself. I'm telling you that in the Sunday Times best-selling book, there's a whole chapter.
YouTube channel.
And on our YouTube channel.
But go on, tell me about it.
Go and watch our interview with Liam Halligan.
You've made one
conversation with Liam Halligan.
And 53 on trans. One conversation on inequality.
Go and watch our interview with Liam Halligan. It's all in there.
So you're not going to just tell me, because you don't want to talk about inequality. Right. Why do you not want to talk about inequality? Do you think, for your audience, what's a more productive conversation?
Guys, are you watching this? I just told them that in my book, there's a chapter.
Oh, you're looking at
There's a chapter about inequality, and he's saying, why don't you talk about inequality?
On your YouTube channel, which is what you mainly do. You make hundreds of videos.
I sold many tens of thousands of copies of my book.
What's your opinion on inequality? How do you fix inequality?
Jimmy.
But that's what I mean. You don't deal with complex topics on your podcast.
Except in my book, which is where you might want to deal with complex topics, right?
So in a podcast, you wouldn't? You'd rather talk 53 videos on trans?
You really have come here with talking points. You're not able to go beyond them, are you?
No, definitely not.
Well, it's clear.
So I think that Konstantin was right about this. It is really not going well for him at all. In fact, I don't think it could be going any worse for him if he tried. And those questions that Konstantin is using there, when you've got somebody backed up like this in a corner on the ropes, those questions are very effective rhetorical tools to really highlight the person's flaws and to not let them wriggle out of their situation that they're in, to just really spotlight that. And look, it's fair enough. He deserves it, because what you could do is you could admit that you're wrong. You could take the foot off the gas for a moment and you could try and be an adult about it. But no, with him, the insults and the slander did not abate. I mean, this was honestly like somebody who has completed 3 boxercise classes, flying to Dagestan, calling Khabib Nurmagomedov an absolute pussy and challenging him to a 5-round cage fight. But anyways, let's watch the closing part.
So just come back to the video you made, right? In which you made a bunch of, you called it bullshit claims.
Bullshit claims.
So
lies.
are you going to withdraw that video?
For sure, yeah.
You're going to take it down?
No.
Well, you're going to keep lies up there on the internet?
For sure.
About other people that you know are lies?
Oh, big time.
Really? Why?
Terrible, but a grifter, you could say.
Why would you keep something up that you now know is not true?
Because it is true. The general point that I'm making is that you basically do what you're doing right now, which is unable to engage on material factors that actually affect your audience lives. You'd rather have culture wars conversations endlessly because it benefits you financially and it's your whole model. And I genuinely thought, actually, I thought more ideologically you were probably on this side. I genuinely thought probably this is what you really think are the big issues in society. But throughout this conversation, you haven't even been able to get in on any of these topics.
Notice how you're dodging everything I'm saying. I'm simply asking you, you're a content creator on YouTube who clearly believes in the importance of telling the truth, right? That's why you made a video about people who are not telling the truth, in which you included me, right? And now that you've discovered that that video is full of untruths.
Full of untruths.
It is.
Full of
you are not going to take it down?
There's no underlying message or point that I've made that's been very evident in this interview. That you don't engage in anything substantive, you only engage in culture.
So you're going to double down?
Drama.
You're going to double down?
Big double down, yeah. Triple down.
On a video you now know is full of lies?
Full of lies. Is this a lie that this is what you're doing? The whole podcast, you haven't engaged in anything.
Wow.
Yeah, wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think we kind of made the point.
Yeah.
How much money did you make from that video?
1,000?
1,000?
Probably.
It's a video that did 350,000 views. It's half an hour
probably
long,
with
and it's got
sponsorship.
3 ad integrations. So how much did you make from it?
5
grand at
billion,
least?
5 billion?
5 grand at least, I would think.
I'd say 5 million.
So you made a video full of lies from which you made 5 grand, and you won't take it down. Is that not exactly what a grifter would do?
So am I a grifter?
Well, I'm asking you by your definition. I've never called you a grifter.
But you want me to say it?
I'm asking you, by your definition, are you a grifter?
Massively.
I think we can leave it there. Thanks for coming on.
So sometimes people will say, oh, that was like talking to a child or like talking to a teenager. But what we just watched, that actually did look like a child talking to an adult or a teenager talking to an adult.
This is going to work a lot better if you listen to what I'm saying and then respond to it. So
it was actually very strange to watch at times. And one last thing that I want to highlight is that if you watch the whole entire conversation or the whole entire debate, whatever you want to call it, there are many times when Konstantin will be completely silent while this guy is going off and rambling, and he tries to stop him a few times, but he sees this guy crashing out and spurging, so Konstantin will just stay silent for 30 seconds or a minute or so.
If you go through those videos, 53 of which are about trans.
Okay.
Now, and you talk about it endlessly.
Are you done?
No.
I'll keep going.
No, we're nothing.
Oh, you are done?
No. One more.
Go ahead.
No, I'm not done. One more.
Go ahead. Carry on. You're not done?
Done.
You're done?
Done.
Okay, that was quick.
And this is very intentional, and it's a very effective tool to use. Sometimes in these situations, less is more. Napoleon Bonaparte famously said, never interrupt your opponent while they're making a mistake. And this debate was a good example of somebody effectively utilizing that tactic exactly. So guys, don't forget to check out Fume just below. Flavored air without all those downsides of vaping. Also, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and if you would like to watch another video right here. Till next time, I'm Jake. This is RattlesnakeTV, keeping you armed and dangerous.